All right, welcome to another 2020 NBA Playoffs podcast, joined by special guest, Australia's greatest ever point guard, Shane Hill. What's happening, Shane? How you doing, brother?
Loving these playoffs, brother. Loving these playoffs.
Yeah?
Been good. Friday night, mate. Just relaxing, getting ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. Just a recap on the first video that we did. So, you correctly picked two series scores. So you had Lakers in 5 and Raptors in 4.
Yep.
And you only had one wrong. You had OKC in 7 and you lost by 2 points. I had Houston in 6. But yeah. So we did quite well in the first round, and now we're going to try to pick the winners for round 2. So, Shane, East or West?
Let's go West.
West. All right. Lakers and Houston.
It's a sweep.
Yeah?
Lakers are going to sweep them, mate. I don't think Houston get a game.
Not even with, they got Harden. Harden's unstoppable.
I've got to tell you, mate. I call him Harden because there's no D in Harden. All right. I refuse.
Hey, but he came up big. He had that block against Dort, the game-winning block.
Yeah, that's one highlight. I can show you 12 where he just lets his man go past him and he doesn't give two shits.
Yeah.
Right. So Harden kills you. Right.
Yeah.
So he's and if he's not shooting the ball well, and their style, I mean, we spoke about it before. I can't stand Houston. Cannot stand them. Hate the way they play. And complete contrast. And when you love the game and you see Miami play, and with how much effort and their rotations on defense, how they move the ball, the different offenses, they're just a pleasure to watch. Just two total contrasting teams. I cannot stand them.
Yeah. So you've got a sweep. Lakers in 4.
Yep.
Yep. I've also got Lakers, but I say in 6. I think
6.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they steal game 1. Just because Westbrook, as much as I don't like Westbrook, because he's just dumb. He doesn't make the smartest decisions, and I think he's very, him being from Cali, he always shows up against the Lakers, and so I think he's going to have, 1 or 2 big games where he scores 30 plus and just rescues the team. So yeah, I've got him in 6. And I won't be surprised if they take game 1.
The problem with Westbrook right now is that he's that sort of player that he's got no touch from the perimeter. And when he misses a chunk of games like he has, he's even worse again. He could shoot 2 air balls tomorrow from the 3, like where it just doesn't even come close. He's that sort of player. So I think sometimes he can hurt their team. I think he takes some time to be able to get his touch back. So maybe as they get deeper into the series that he'll start performing, but I think it'll be tough for them. And you know what? They'll stand off him and they'll actually challenge him to shoot it. And he's that dumb, he'll shoot it. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's trying to prove the scout wrong, but by trying to prove the scout wrong, he actually proves it right. That's what he do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's an interesting fella. But all right, so that's the Lakers. So we both agree that Lakers are going through.
Yep.
So anyone who wants to place that playoff series bet for the Lakers to win, it's quite a safe bet, but obviously don't bet over your head. Clippers and Denver. Who do you like?
Well, I'm going to sweep on this as well. I know I texted you last night and said the Clippers win by 20 today. I just think Denver, they were lucky to get out of that series with the Jazz. They're relieved. Took such an effort, mentally and physically to be able to get that done. The Clippers are just coming into their own. I just don't think they're going to be able to get anything done. I think that's a sweep as well. 2 sweeps in the West.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I've got Clippers in 5. I reckon Jokic, he's my favorite player on that team. I just think he's going to have a big game and maybe take, game 3 or 4. And yeah, stave off a sweep. All right. So East now. Miami. Miami and Milwaukee. So Milwaukee has lost both their games, and they are now this is the first time ever a number 5 seed has taken a 2-0 series lead over a number 1 seed. So history in the making. Miami 6-0 this postseason. The only undefeated team in the playoffs. And yeah, Jimmy buckets 40 points in game 1. And then he hits the 2 clutch free throws down the stretch with 0 time remaining in game 2. What are your thoughts on Milwaukee on this series?
This was always going to be a tough series because Miami's so well coached. I really think that Miami's probably the best coached team in the competition with what they've got and their system offensively. And I was listening to the commentators say the other day that Milwaukee made 6 passes in offense, and they were raving on and banging on about how they moved the ball. Well, they only moved the ball because the defense and the rotations from Miami was so on point that Milwaukee couldn't do anything. They had to make an extra pass, and they're clogging up the lanes against Giannis. Makes it really tough. I think the biggest problem that they've got, the Bucks, is their second fiddle player needs to really be a point guard. And I don't mind Middleton, but I don't think having a second fiddle player that plays a similar position as Giannis is a help for them. And especially when Bledsoe, he's another player like Westbrook to me. He needs to have played a lot. He looks like he's out of whack. Doesn't have a whole lot of touch. They would be so much better with like a Dragic than a Bledsoe. So they've got some holes in their roster, I reckon, at the moment, the Bucks. They could come back. They've got the talent to be able to do it. But I wouldn't back them to be able to win this series from here.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. As much as I love Giannis and Milwaukee, watching him play, he just doesn't seem right. I don't know what it is. He scored 18 points in game 1. He was horrible from the free throw line. And then in game 2, he stepped up a bit and scored 29 points. But yeah, he's not being as aggressive as he was during the regular season or against Orlando.
But I think you got to tip your hat to Miami for that because they're, creating a wall. They're not allowing him to drive. So if he gives that off, then they've got a whole lot of other perimeter guys. That's what I'm saying. I think they need to be able to have some other action, somebody that can use the ball, create off pick and rolls, go and make plays like a Dragic can to be able to keep the scoreboard ticking over where it doesn't always have to be through Giannis. It takes a bit of pressure off and everything else. And I don't see who they've got that can actually go and make those plays at the moment.
Right. So what do you reckon? What's your pick for this series?
I think Miami can win it.
Yeah.
I think Milwaukee will still win some games. I'm going to go with Miami in 6.
Yeah. I've got Miami in 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me either. I think everyone's just waiting for the Bucks to bounce back, just because they've been so dominant and everything else. But they're playing without fear. The Heat. There's a lot of pressure back on the Bucks right now, so they'll come out hard, and that can help. But at the same time, the Heat aren't worried about their 3-point shots. They're just letting it fire. You got people that are feeling good about themselves. They're confident. They play together. They share the ball. They've got great movement before they really get into their sets and things as well. You just see them manipulating the pick and roll schemes. They're a great team to watch.
Yeah. Most bookies have Miami to win the series at $1.70. So those are very good odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd back that. Oh, here's another thing. This is a very physical series, and they had 71 foul shots in game 2. So, what do you reckon? Overs? Overs in the next game? Giannis will be more aggressive, more free throws, stopped clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing, it's still in my head in some of the calls and, some of the referee decisions that drive me crazy, to be honest. The amount of, and guys need to be better. The amount of times that guys are just fouling 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
It does my head in. I know Van Gundy's going about it. It's like, you got to understand what people are trying to do. Why are you taking away people's landing space?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the overs for sure. I think Miami's going to, the Bucks will have to be working on ways to be able to create space, to be able to get Giannis in the game, and everyone else is going to have to be aggressive to be able to penalise the help defense. So they're going to be ready on the front foot to be able to put points on the board. Can they do it for a whole game? That's going to be the thing, but I think there'll be definitely more points on the board.
Yeah. Cool. So that's a bonus pick. So over 223 points in game 3. All right. So last one is Boston, number 3, against Toronto, number 2. So did you see today's game? Toronto got lucky.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby, far out. What do you think of that play where Brad Stevens gets Taco Fall, 7'5" Taco Fall, the rookie, to guard 6' Kyle Lowry, and he still sucks at his job. Kyle Lowry threads the needle to a corner 3. Well, what did you think of that call by Brad Stevens?
Well, I think the mindset of it was right, because you're trying to take away the angles, so he just doesn't have the vision to be able to get it done. The execution, though, it was pretty poor. He would be looking at him and going, "Mate, are you kidding? I put you into the game to be able to take away that angle, and you allowed this little fella that's 6 foot to pass it exactly where he wanted to be able to win that game. Are you kidding me?" That's what he would have said, surely.
Yeah, fuck.
This is a great series. This is a really good series. Two teams that, that play hard, that play together. The defense of Boston that has been great with their toughness, but their length on the perimeter as well. I know Lowry fired up again today, but they still didn't shoot the ball well from the 3-point line, Toronto as well. So for me, this is always going to be a low-scoring series that's gone under the first 2 games. I'll be taking the unders again in the next game. I just don't think it's going to be high. And that was with a 62-point first quarter, I think it was. So after that, it was really low. But this is just a great series. I'm so happy that Toronto won, because I want this to go the distance.
Yeah.
I think that whoever wins this could potentially win the East.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that. So what's your call? Who do you think's going to go through to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I said Toronto at the start, so I'm going to stay with Toronto. I mean, I'm going to be favoured to go through, no doubt. And it's probably just out of stubbornness that I'm saying that, because you would have to think the way the series and the games have been played, Boston have been more dominant and the more likely team to be able to win the series.
So you've got Toronto in 6 or 7?
Let's go 7.
7? I've got Boston in 6. I think Toronto was lucky today, very lucky, and I think the Celtics they win with Jason Tatum. So he's their best player. He's averaging 25 points this postseason. So I think
Kemba had 29 today. He's been good.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, Tatum, if he should bounce back in the next game. And if they take that 3-1 series lead, I think then they'll just, they'll close out. Might let Toronto get another one. But yeah, I've got Boston in 6. Just think that, you know, the length of Tatum and Brown on the wings. Marcus Smart, he's a great defensive player. You know, he really gives them that grit.
Not so
Not so smart. He's done something. I think he's gotten a lot smarter this season.
He shot the ball well. I mean, in this series, he shot the ball well, but geez, he makes some knucklehead plays when you're like, oh my goodness, his little name's Smart.
Yeah.
Serious. But he plays a good role. He's tough. You know, when he's hitting shots, it's a bonus for them. I think they certainly haven't missed Hayward. That's for sure. And the big fella's done well too, considering they're so limited in the middle. They've actually done well inside compared to, and you look at Ibaka today, he had like 2 points or something. So they've done a really good job with the bigs with Gasol and Ibaka as well.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. Those are our 4 picks for the 2020 NBA playoffs. You know, once these hit, we can then reconvene for the conference finals and then the NBA finals.
You got a long-term pick yet, or what? For
a gentleman never tells. I've texted you my thing, but I'll save it for I'll do a game by game. I'll do game by game videos. Yeah, you got to check out my videos from last year on the Raptors. I got nearly every single pick right. It was just game 4 or game 5 I got it wrong, and that was the one where Durant popped his Achilles and they won by 1 point. Kyle Lowry went for that shot at the end, the game winner, and he hit the side of the backboard. That was the only pick I got wrong. Otherwise, it was all wins for Toronto. But this year I've got something special for everyone. So make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, tell everyone. Lastly, sad news with the passing of Cliff Robinson. I was a big fan of him, growing up, watching him play with the headband. He passed away from lymphoma. He was Shane, you would have played against him being in the Northwest back in the 96-97 season. Do you have any memories with him? I
just said he was a gun. Nothing personally, just more as a fan than an opposition player, but just a gun player, mate. Sad. Way too young, mate. 53.
53, yeah. And he was an advocate for cannabis. That's why, I was a big fan of him, because I'm the same. Cannabis, baby. And John Thompson, so hopefully, less people die and more people play better basketball, like Giannis. Play better, Giannis, you fuck. All right, Shane, I'll let you go, man. Go enjoy the rest of your Friday night.
See you, brother. Good on you. Good luck.
See ya.